t-shirt, now red, my bloody nose sleeping. You're on your tippy toes, creeping around like no one knows. Think you're so criminal. Bruises on both my knees for you. Don't say thank you or please. I do what I want when I'm wanting to. So cynical. I'm a bad guy. Duh. I'm a bad guy. So you're a tough guy, like you're really rough guy. Just can't get enough guy, just always so buff guy. I'm that bad type, make your mama sad type, make your girlfriend mad type, might seduce your dad type.
Hello. It's Monday. So we're here to talk about tasks. We are not. We got a brand new show. We are here to discuss Welcome to Derry, and I'm excited about it. Hopefully, you guys are too. For anybody who want to act new, we will be spoiling everything. Act as if you've already seen it. If you have not, back away and come back later.
Yeah.
Ashley, how are you feeling?
I am feeling okay, but I'm definitely ready to get into Derry. It exceeded my expectations, Tyra, and I'm ready to talk all about it. How are you? And are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I think there's been a lot of built up anticipation for it and everything, and I'm ready to discuss whether or not it paid off and how everybody feels about it in the chat. Be sure to comment below, hit that like button, and use the new feature, hype the video. Overall thoughts: the kids were on the poster. The babies were on the poster. Overall thoughts. I know midway, I was like, okay, where are we going? I'm enjoying it, but I'm not seeing anything I haven't seen before. If we're going to do a show and have it carry through multiple episodes, I would think they would want to be inventive. Why are we getting into the Losers Club so quickly? Like, we just got here. Now we already setting up who's the Stan and who's the Richie. And I'm like, okay, I mean, I'm not mad at it. By the time we got to the end, and I was like, oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Kill them kids. Anybody who's not new here, y'all know how I feel about horror and killing some kids. We know you mean business when you kill some kids. Now look here. Killing some kids in horror and one thing, in the universe, that's where he flourishes. We're going to take them kids out. But taking out 3 in one episode in one setting, put your seatbelt on. Put your seatbelt on. That is not normal behavior. And that set me off. I love a little bait and switch situation. I felt like it was perfect. And anything that can set me in horror, because you feel like you've seen so much, you know what's coming, what's about to happen. If you can surprise me, you are doing a really good job, because I love me some horror. Ash, overall thoughts of this episode?
Overall thoughts, y'all, I really, really enjoyed it, and I didn't expect to, especially when we got the two-headed demon baby with a broken wing. At that, I didn't know what to expect because, again, I'm not heavy over here in the horror streets. I will say it is one of the only movies, both iterations, the OG that we just watched over the weekend, and then the 2017 version. And I was satisfied by both of them, just because I like a little bit of exposition. I love a story with a group of nomads, a group of kids, honey, exiles, the outcasts. That's what we grew up on, so it's got a special place in my heart. But coming into here, I didn't really know what to expect. We're a prequel. They said this is going to kind of set the stage for what happened in the OG It, and I was like, all right, let's see. But no, I think these young actors did a great job of cementing who they were in just 45 minutes, because, baby, they were out of there quickly. But I love them. I was like, okay, come on, act down, babies. And I also like the element of race. I like that it's not going to be a single focus. I like that we're expanding the universe a little bit and getting some more depth, and hopefully getting an understanding as to why all the blacks were gone by the time we get to the events of the It movie. But no, I was really impressed. And again, not even being a horror girl, I think they did a great job at making this attainable, even for non-horror people. And I'm here for that.
I most definitely feel like I know where all the blacks went, but I don't want to spoil anything for anybody who may not have seen it. I'm saying anything. But Yeah, we saw them black people in the trailer. We were like, what? Not in the Stephen King universe, baby. What? For what? I ain't never seen this many black people in one setting in Maine. Not all y'all here in the lead. Okay, what you trying to say, Pennywise? But let's get on into it. I just felt like it was diabolical the way they put them kids on the poster. Like, oh, they're gonna be in here for the long run. Get used to these faces. They're important. It was like, no, but introductions, Maddie's tragic end. This opening was something. I was not expecting this. Normally you expect things to go a little slow, and if you're going to get something this heavy, it'll probably be towards the end. Now, I was anticipating build up with Pennywise, with us going back, which I love, referencing the original It with Tim Curry, and we get to go back to the 1950s, late 50s, early 60s. I really love this era aesthetically. And I was like, we're not going to get, Pennywise here. I think that would defeat the purpose of kind of building this intensity. So we're probably going to get glimpses of something. And just for anybody, because I saw, join the Discord if you're not in there. We watched it through the Discord, and I'm always in trance when I realize, like, oh, everybody don't be in them horror streets like that. It was like, okay, well, is this the birth of Pennywise? Is he coming out? It was like, no, that's not what's happening here. When we get into Pennywise and the way that he attacks his prey and children, we are deeping and diving into what would be considered your worst nightmare or your fear, because that intensifies the situation and just makes the kid taste so much better, which sounds crazy to say. And we get what would be Maddie's worst nightmare? Meeting this baby here. I know everybody sat there with their mouth open because he looks every bit of 10, 11, 12, and he brings out that pacifier. He was like, what? Why does he have a pacifier? And I was like, oh, he has a pacifier. We are delayed in some way. You could tell that he is going through some traumas. I just want to see his sad ass parents real quick. Even if they don't matter to the plot because he's gone, I want to see who was laying hands on this baby. But you can clearly see that he's dealing with some traumas, and it's stunting his growth to the point that maybe for quite some time, all he's had to hold on to soothe himself is this pacifier. So he just sucking away. I was like, oh Lord. And we found out he's here at this theater, multiple times a week just trying to get away. And I think his worst nightmare was just getting brought back to Derry. It's like, one day when I get older, I'm going to just get out of here. Maybe he thought he was getting out of here immediately and going to Portland and hitchhiking with this nuclear like perfect 1960s mirrored family. They were awful. They were awful. Now, if you hit them it streets, as soon as she said, "Oh, dear, get in the car," I was like, "Oh, don't get in the car, dear. If it called you dear, it's it." And it just went off. When that baby popped out of that lady's section, I was like, whoa. Oh, who asked you for that? Who asked you for that? I did appreciate the way that the creature looked, this two-headed baby demon. I felt like it was a callback to the scene in the second It, where they're having that round table at the Chinese restaurant and all those things were popping out of the fortune cookies. It was very much that, but we didn't have long with Maddie, but it was very impressionable and a strong opening to me. Ashley, how did you feel about the demonic winged baby?
Child, it was scary as hell. And then when we see 6-foot demonic winged baby, that was crazier. But no, I really, really enjoyed this opening scene. I thought it was for the shock and the awe, but I think this is what really got people like to kind of sit up and be like, okay, where are we going with this? But I definitely agree. And we watched kind of the after show and they discussed it a little bit, but definitely this was a manifestation of one of Maddie's greatest fears. We kind of get it after the fact, what had gone on. He got rejected by this girl, and that was ultimately the icing on the cake. Let me get out of here. Let me get out of this town. Let me get away from these people. It's kind of implied he was picked on. Nobody loved him. They had to pay the boys to even come to his birthday party. And so I think here, and I do agree that there has to be some sort of trauma in the house he was raised in, because why would you? This is a dummy mission, if anything. But also I think the worst fear would be finally becoming a part of this loving family, and then they turn out to be demons. And that's exactly what happened here. Definitely, I agree. And I liked the symbolism of the pacifier because it really does feel like, okay, he's holding on to his innocence and there's still this purity or this simpleness about him. And I liked it that it reminded me of Georgie's raincoat. Like, I was like, oh, we're bringing in the yellows. Like, I was here for all of that. But this demon baby was scary. This is the stuff of nightmares. Like, I hate this creature. I hope we never have to see it again. I hope the movie
Seriously.
theater was the last iteration of it. I would rather see Pennywise than this demon baby. If
You're not. I appreciate that about the series. I think it gives it momentum. I think the ultimate like pinnacle thing is to see Pennywise in full, throttle. I feel like we've gotten so much of that in the movies to where I guess in those books, disclaimer, we have not read the books because I never gonna get that. Have you read the book? People down at the bottom, we have not read the books, but I believe he turns into multiple things. You have to remember that
he
the
shapeshifts
manifestation,
and
the shapeshift, it's actually like a creature or some alien, some mythical being that's been here forever. He just chose the clown. So I like that we can get into these dimensions and he can turn into everything depending on what your heart desires. But it was really sad to see that innocence lost in that binky fly that just flew. I was like, oh, so much for that. But it was nice. And it reminded me, I was like, I need to go watch Music Man. I have never seen Music Man.
you have it.
No,
Okay, that's one of the old school musicals. She said, "I'm not going over there right now."
I haven't seen Music Man. That's one that I was like, yeah, no. But after this, I feel like I need to go see. Now, this is something that shocked me the most. I was like, and I don't know why I didn't come back immediate me. I was like, Mike Hanlon, Mike, Leroy. This is Mike's grandpa. I am so intrigued. I think that the most unexplored avenue in anything that we've gotten about it is those parents. Parents and just anybody in the community that's probably over the age of 18. And it's like, why the hell are you guys just so mean? Mean and surly. Mean, surly. It seems like they're void of emotions because we have scenarios happen right underneath these parents or whomever, neighbors' noses, and they don't get involved. They don't do anything. It's just like, oh, this is the norm. And I think it's just the culture of the it being manifesting in these people. And we get to see this newcomer move here, and we're innocent and we're a black air pilot. And I think it's really like strong fear on my behalf. I'm like, we got to deal with it and racism. I'm tired already. I gotta deal with dairy problems in Maine and racism. This is too much. But I liked his introduction because you could see that there's like something boiling or bubbling underneath the surface that we're not saying when we're meeting the general, and it's just so positive. Oh yeah, you're gonna salute him. I like how the white man's name. He was like Master. I was like, look here, Steven. I don't know if that was Steven or the writers, but Master didn't want to salute. I don't want no parts of that. And it's just like, yeah, I'm going to have to be dealing with that. You're going to salute me. I'm your superior. But General act like he wasn't having none of it. And we're going to bond in the office and talk about our pursuit and this B-52 and you flying and you're going to bring so much here. I'm going to make sure you're upheld and respected, black man. I was like, something's going on. What do you want? What am I really here for? I'm really intrigued because when we meet Mike's grandpa, in the film, baby, my grandpa is he's jaded to me. I went back and watched the scene because I was like, this can't be the same man. This man who arrived here talking about history and his dad and what he really joined the Air Force for, and it's just also patriotic. We down here in like the meat packing district, hitting livestock in the head and delivering meats via Mike. We are not this man, and we're really, really hard on him and really mean. I want to see what he goes through here separately and with his own family and maybe this lineage. Because if I can remember, I think when Mike ends up here, his parents have passed away and it was a fire. I think they was on them drugs real bad. It was some crackhead activities happening. It's just kind of almost a curse. So I want to know how that all unraveled. But Ashley, how did you feel about this? And did you know that this was Mike's grandpa?
Girl, I didn't know that. I didn't know that, but I enjoyed his presentation. I think we learned a lot about Leroy in a very short time, how he's a man of integrity and character and order, and how, just to think about, is he a general or a major? Either one, that rank was like very hard to get to as a black man in those days. So we know he's endured. We kind of got a little bit of background on his father. He said he was a farmer. armor and the crop dusting and all that. I really, really liked his presentation. He seems like he's going to be a good man, Savannah. But I don't trust Harry, and that's the commanding officer, aka Dexter Daddy over there. I don't trust him. He's acting too good. It almost makes me feel he's behind them gas mask people. I said, sir, did you set this up? Are you testing him? What is this going to be, an experiment? Is he going to be in Area 51? Are y'all going to be using his parts, his melanin to feed the aliens? It's going to be something weird. I know it. You know how they love to experiment on black people in these types of situations. So I'm just waiting to see what's going to unfurl. But I enjoy his character. I like him, and I like his little sidekick, his little Italian Latino buddy, whoever that is.
Ollie.
I'm absolutely here for it, but I'm really curious about what, there's, guess who moved in? Guess who's coming to dinner? The neighborhood, not just the dynamics in the barracks, but what is it going to look like when his family actually gets here and they are kind of integrating this suburban neighborhood, because the one black family that we see later, you can tell they live in a completely different part of town now. So very interested to see what that's going to be. And I'm compelled. Like, I want to know more. And that's a good sign for any show or any scene. I want to know more about this black man.
I'm just sad because that black man we met in It Chapter 1, that man was taken through there. That was a shell of a man. It was really, you shoot the sheep. You either a sheep or you're a part of the herd. Shoot it, Mike. Like, I don't got time for this. Like, it was a very jaded man compared to who we met here now. I was like,
You've been through there. You know they're about to take him through there.
You need to move. You need to move. But I also want to see, like, is it, the creature, the itness, seeping into him that changes him, or is it just, some loss? What happened? Because we know what had Mike there, and he went back and never left, and how he met the family. The black family is cursed, and we already know it. We already know it. It went all the way down the bloodline. But getting back into these tides, and I just went, and I'm so happy that I am a Stephen King movie lover. I love it. So when I went, because you pay attention, but you don't know everybody's name. So when I went and I saw, I was like, okay, watching the scene when Grandpa Leroy first arrives there, and just everything's all hunky-dory, and we're welcoming you, and we're going to make sure, blah, blah, blah. This one black man here is looking like, he looks like he knows something that we don't know yet. So I was like, let me go get this man's name down. This is Doc from The Shining. Look at here. Now, this has me a little nervous because this could be a good thing. I always get a little nervous when we are opening up universes and expanding to other franchises in different ways. I was not expecting this because if you watch The Shining and you know who Doc is not only communicating with the baby at the Overlook, and we can communicate in that way, but he can sense, bad elements and ghosts and see things and shine. So that means he should be able to see anything festering like it or whatever, the nefarious things that are going on, and hear certain things that the average person wouldn't. This makes me a little nervous, but I like it because, we don't know until we get there, but this was not something that I was expecting. And we know how Doc met his end over there in The Shining. I was like, it's not looking good for the blacks in Derry. It's not looking good. But I guess we'll be looking into what got him into this state and what information he's going to be sharing with Leroy. But getting to Leroy, before we can be all good and we can even have our first day on the job, we're attacked in our room. Thank goodness Paulie rolled up with his greasy hair. See, I still look good and came through and saved the day. But we're more trying to gather information in these B-52s and this intel, and I was like, is this some secret organization, or these the three guys in the beginning that didn't want to salute him? Like, was this just an attack, or are we really trying to gather information and this is some upscale mask society or something? I don't know, but I think it's going to be interesting to let play out. Ashley, how do you feel about this?
Girl, first of all, I don't know anything about The Shining or whatever you said in the first part of that. So I will go directly to the masked attack and what I think it is. I honestly think this was a test. I think this was a test of how far can you be taken to the limit? What kind of man are you? What kind of soldier are you? And I really feel like the commanding officer was behind this because I also think that black man was there. I think he was one of the men in the thing, as to not make it. I do. And I think that if he would have told, I think he really would have been out of there. Like it was either that or a setup to knock him out, have him wash out. But I really am inclined to think this was a test to see where his allegiance lies, because I feel like they're doing something secret in Derry. Like I feel like it's top secret, and before they can let him in, I think he has to pass the test that he won't say anything. Now, what these secret orders are, like I said, it's probably harvesting and human testing or doing something odd with damn aliens. I told you, Area 51. But yeah, I don't know. It's got to be more than what's on the surface, because we know we're dealing with a supernatural element. Race is already horror, right? Racism is already a horror. I think they'll hopefully subvert our expectations like they did with these kids and make this something else. Make this, I would rather it be about the Pennywise spirit or aura that's overtaking the town, or this alien element that's infiltrated some of them, than it be about pure racism. I like racism as a cover for really the horror and atrocity that's kind of beneath the surface. And I think it also plays into the fear element. If I can keep him or get him scared or fearful, what does that look like for Pennywise and his ability to control the adults here? I don't know. I'll be interested to see what they're going to do, if they're going to change the story narratively and go in a different direction. But I'm absolutely here for it. Sorry to Doc. Sorry to that man. I have no clue who you are.
We're gonna see, because it did make me nervous for him to immediately, well, you gonna have to kill me then, go on hit me again with the lead pipe. I was like, hold on, sir, we don't. We have, a child, we have a wife, we have things to live for. But he was, instantly committed and doing his duty for his country. I don't think it was Doc in here, because if you know anything about Doc, he's, a certain, maybe that was a shift or a change, because Doc looking real shifty in that trailer. Like, what did you go through, black man? But he's, a very honorable, do-gooder type of magical Negro, if you will, type of man over there in The Shining. So I'm more banking on that it was the general who sent those men, but it was those men he was pretending to, trying to be an ally, and you're going to respect him and salute him like everybody else. We're going to pretend, I feel like it was that, but I'm just really intrigued by this Shining situation, because it opens it up to so many other things. Because he should already know damn near everything if those elements are there. But I'm like, if you know these things, then why are you still here, Doc? I don't know. Let me read some of these super chats if I can get them on the screen. Thank you so much, Trent, for the super chat. Hey, everybody. This pilot episode, while not Halloween Town 2, was it. Scary, gross, and intense, and much needed. I loved it, especially since Gen V was a flop. Man, I gotta go watch that finale episode. I ain't been in a rush, because I felt like they were gonna play with us, and they did. Oh man, we go to this next one here. If it lets me put it on the screen, child. Thank you so much, Gentis Atlantis. This first episode felt like a movie. I was not expecting that ending or intro. Right, we love the unexpected. That's always a good time. And we got Chuck here. How you doing, Chuck? And let's see, melanated monetary support. Thank you. Thank you for the melanated girl monetary support. If I can even get my words out, make sure I got everything. Okay. Oh man, I think I can't even say that, Ashley. You might not like The Shining, but I know you like exposition and stuff, and I think
I'll watch it this week. We'll pop in the Discord and
I wasn't planning on it until I realized and saw that man was Doc. Now I need to go refresh. Why are we opening up and going over there? But let's get into Looney Lily first. Lily was like, oh, okay, because at this point we still thought that they were doing the formulaic thing of getting our losers together. So we're like, oh, okay, we know who this is. This is our girl. And she clearly has some traumas of her own. She's the kind of the template for what we get for Beverly. She's kind of an outcast. She's lost a parent, and we realized that it was a jar factory, some type of freak accident. And I didn't know until I watched it the second time that she had spent some time in the asylum there, because she just really had a mental breakdown about it. I was like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, because I didn't know where I was when her mother made that statement. But we do, we are made to understand that she hasn't really dealt with those emotions. We haven't went to visit our father's, grave and everything. And, being an outcast just comes with its own amounts of hurdles. But she is the first person to get contact with Maddie via those pipes and try to put those context clues together. As our lead here, our lead little girl, Ashley, what did you think about Lily?
I enjoyed Lily. Lily, I think she really truly captured like the spirit of like a 50s, 60s teenager who's kind of like in exile. I think this young actress did a great job in this role of kind of being withdrawn. And like an angsty, teen can kind of get on our nerves. I don't know. She kind of gives Claire Danes My So-Called Life. And I don't know. I'm kind of into her for whatever reason. I really like Looney Lily. The pickles made me hungry because don't threaten me with a good time. Fill my locker with pickles. We'll have a great time. But no, I think this is layered and this is deep and this is nuanced. There's so much speculation about who her father was. Was he a villain? What was going on? Because honestly, you would think your father's unalived. Why now are you the target of hazing and abuse? But clearly there's some other element going on around, was he guilty of something? Did he do something? And was he deserving of whatever happened? I like that she's got this little ally. I don't know if I like the little girl, but we shall see. Of course, I thought the boys were going to be her community. I thought we were getting a redo of OG It, but clearly that's not the case because they don't exist anymore. What I will say is I really need our young black protagonist in this, the young girl. I don't need her to be her sidekick. I need her to be distinctly her own character and individual. That's the only thing I feel like in my spirit they might go down that road. And I don't want them to, but I enjoy Lily as a character. I think she's going to be something to see. I think her arc and growth and bravery, I hope, is kind of the theme that we'll see. And if she can push this fear to the side, because baby, her mind was already playing tricks on her before Pennywise. So now what is that going to look like? And then when you kind of rehearse trauma, so not only her father's, but now you literally just witnessed 3 kids be unalived by a half-winged demon baby. The blood is literally on your face. Like when she screams at the end, I felt that. I felt it all deep down inside. I said, girl, yeah, scream, ho, because I would have been screaming.
Ashley.
I would have been. I would have been mortified. Like, can you imagine? So I'm really excited to see where her character is going to go, but I like her. Good on her. And y'all got to tell me about the turtle. They were talking about it in the Discord as we were watching. Is it a, what do they call it? What do they call it in From? A talisman? Is it like a safe thing, like a, something you hold on to that's going to protect her?
I have
Or what? Huh?
I said I have a slide next for that one.
Oh, okay. I was just
Well,
curious.
I was just about to ask you about the turtle and if it meant anything significant because she did have it and it's supposed to be some type of protection, even though it is this little charm, just what it represents. And I'll get to this slide, but I just wanted everybody to consider it down below because I didn't feel like there was any reason why she should have been spared in that theater. I was like, why? Why you skip over her? It looked like it took everybody else without a problem. Why didn't it get her? But I do like Marge. I like Marge. I feel like Marge was being rational. I'm a real friend, girl. I love you down, but look
I'm
here.
trying to be your friend, but you so weird.
We're trying to survive here. We're barely holding on. I got these thick ass Coke bottles on. Now look, don't go around telling nobody that. I feel like she is gonna be if ever we get to that lucky 7 child at the Losers Club, and we have a friend of Beverly here or Beverly phenotype. I think Marge is going to be really useful. I think Marge is going to have to be taken through there to be on her side. And like, oh, okay, I believe you now. I saw it for myself. But I think she's going to be pivotal to the little kids and whoever else we meet because now we've lost several ones in the first episode. But I did like her. I didn't think that anything. I didn't take away too much from the dad. I just thought it was a freak accident and they were picking on her because the rumor is his body parts were kind of dispersed.
Found in jars.
Yeah, but if it's something bigger than that, I would love to know. And even down to the Looney situation, I think that would be interesting because she's still actively taking medication. So will she try to reach out or say something? And will they, try to place her back into the asylum? Because we ain't been to that asylum outside of Henry Bowers, hoe ass. But other than that, we haven't really seen the inside. So I'm like, are we going to be going through there with children who are saying they see things and the adults don't believe them? And we're going to be going through this asylum? I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting. But getting back into this turtle here, child. I was like, look at here. I think that this is just supposed to be a symbol because, baby, we ain't get no big turtle here. Now, it's a general symbol, of the time, that duck and cover turtle from the nuclear war commercials and Bert the Turtle, saves and all of those, because this was, days of fallout shelters and bombings and all of those unexpected things from the Civil War. But when we add this charm here and what this Maturin represents, and is supposed to be this being who's been here just as long as Pennywise, but it's the complete opposite of Pennywise, meaning that it's good. If Pennywise wants to kill the children, he wants to save the children. I think that would look goofy as hell. So I do. I'm like, what are we gonna do with the turtle? Is the turtle gonna manifest itself as a person? If not, just kind of leave it on the playground. I like what it represents, but I don't think I need Pennywise to have a foe or anything in this universe. I think that it was just maybe a callback for true fans of the books, or just a reference to this turtle. And just overall, I just really don't want it to go beyond that. Actually, how did you feel about it?
It's giving it saved her life. Giving it saved her life. So I don't know if it's a piece of him that he done just dispersed himself into these talismans, and if you were the lucky one to get it out of your, what is it? What are those Cracker Jack boxes? Then, damn it, you win. But that's the only thing, because why would she survive? That's the only difference. That was the only thing set apart. So I don't know if his spirit is imbued in these little turtle symbols or relics, child. But put me in the game. Disperse them out to the friend group. Let's find some more turtles. Because clearly that's the thing that saved her. But hopefully they leave it there. I don't want to see the full embodiment or manifestation of this big turtle at some point. I don't want to see that. But I'm not mad at a talisman. Like, we've seen it in several other stories before as like, okay, this will keep you safe as we ventured, to face the whatever. But please, 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 please don't give us no superhuman turtle. I really don't want to see that.
Just trying to make sure it was just me. I was like, I don't want to see. Maybe if it could do like a little cute Pennywise situation and manifest itself as this little cute human adult, little cute white man, we could do that. But do I want to see a life-size turtle running around? I think that would make it goofy. But if that's what this charm was supposed to symbolize, I'm here for that. Thank you so much, Bookworm, for the super sticker. Definitely appreciate you. We got another one here from Jantis. Lily's mom was harsh. What y'all think? I mean, I didn't take it as harsh too much when it was just really, especially of this time. Not my man. I lost my husband at what age in this freak accident? And the women and the working and the jobs and the lacking and all of that good stuff. But we were going through the trenches economically, so I feel like there's probably a heavy weight on mom, and it's just like the quicker that we move on, the quicker that we can get ahead. But if you're still kind of residing in a space of probably being, depressed, and you can't even visit the gravesite, then how are we moving forward? She's probably just frustrated, but I feel like we'll have a little bit. It as much as she was giving Beverly, baby, that mama could have came in there and been Mr. Marsh. So as long as she wasn't giving that, and ain't nobody trying to touch on her, I am okay. Let's not act like we don't have these parents in this universe. They're terrible. That was a good man, Savannah, as far as I'm concerned. How did you feel about the mom?
I mean, she, like I said, I was expecting, because when we go over to Teddy's house, his dad was hell. I could feel the spirit of slapping hoes on him. But when we got over to Lily's mom, I said, oh, okay, she just depressed and grieving and tired and broke probably. So no, I didn't take it as too deep, but the parents are famously bad over here, so I wouldn't be surprised. But I was glad we didn't have to see the little girl get beat on in the first episode. So for that reason and that reason alone, I think Mama's going to be all right for now. For now.
We already knew Maddie had been taken through there by his daddy. Can we just not? Thank you so much, Trent. Turtle is the antithesis to Pennywise in the book. I figured, but I just put it here and make it cute. Let him be the antithesis over there in the book, and just I don't know, whatever way they want to incorporate it. I just hope it doesn't look goofy. And no, Darlene, I didn't think the two-headed baby looked goofy. I thought it fit with the It universe that they created for the movies. It looked like the rest of the creatures that they created. Child, they're gonna CGI it up here. Okay, Ronnie. I said, why her name Ronnie? Oh, Ronnie seems very smart. I was like, oh, we got a nice, black, bright, quick-witted, intelligent, resourceful black girl. Let's keep her there. I was here with Ronnie at first. But, baby, what we're not going to do is make our daddy the prime suspect. We're not going to do that, especially twice. Now we meet Ronnie in the beginning of the episode, and she's having a heart because I'm not gonna give away Maddie's location. He got enough going on. Let's go on to the back daddy, and we're working the operating room in the theater. Cool. Now we hear midway through the film about how we need to just back up off our house and my daddy because they have been trying to plant, even though we clearly seen that white T man chase Maddie outside. No, we are looking for the usual suspect. We are looking at my daddy to plant this on, and we ain't have nothing to do with that. I don't want nothing to do with whatever you have going on. But pipes, did you say? Who's in what pipes? Yeah, let's hang on down there. Now, barring the events that took place, we knew what happened. If we were trying to pin that on daddy and it was a room full of people in theaters and all that, we get here and we use daddy's keys. Go on, open the theater up, and we kill off some old white tea children. I'm just really nervous for what this means for her family dynamic and her dad. It felt like we were leaving a trail, and this just seems like something that Ronnie wouldn't do because she knows that she's not afforded the same rules as some people, especially here in Derry. And the way that she kind of handled herself, I was like, okay, I'm loving it. And we'll get. I'm just gonna say it when we get to the end. Once we get to the end, you realize this is not our lucky seven. This is not our losers club. Losers club stand 10 toes down about each other. The way them babies was
Yeah.
separated, we got to get the hell out of here. I don't know what you're doing, but I'm about to leave. I was like, okay, sensibly with Ronnie, baby, I'm gonna get out of this room and I'm heading the hell up out of here. No, she went and she waited and she stuck around, and I'm like, you don't even know her. You don't even know her. I don't want to dismiss the babies in the friendship, but I want Ronnie to be, resourceful and smart in every single way possible, but not convenient for the plot when we want to reside in a space of bestie and be, I want to be positive because, we just met her and we don't know just yet, but I just really didn't like the way that played out. There was a way to get that ball rolling, but not have her stick around and try to be a savior for someone else. Ashley?
Girl, they better not. Like I said, that was one thing. That was fine. Okay, girl, because you did bring him in the movie theater. Maybe you felt some level of, responsibility, but let's not keep that energy as we go along until, we see more of an established friendship. Like I said, I just really, narratively speaking, really want to see her with her own path and not just in relationship to Lily, which is what I feel like oh, they're going to do. But baby Regina Hall over here is adorable. I think she did a great job in this role. She looks like her to me. I'm like, this is what Regina looked like when she was a little itty bitty. But no, it seems as though she has an awareness of what it means to be black in Derry. But then on the other side of that, by the end of the episode, it's like, but do you really have that awareness, right? And so also the awareness of this was this for my father then. What if something goes wrong? We're all hearing the Music Man. We're all doing this. Like, maybe I shouldn't do this because thinking of my father, but she's also still a child and her brain's not fully developed yet. So I'm gonna let Ronnie cook a little bit. I enjoy her father. That whoever the actor is that's playing her father, I enjoy him. I just really feel like they're gonna string him up. I really don't feel like he survived. I don't. This is the second settle of young whiteys that are gone under his eye. No, baby. I think you barely get away with that from the first time by the skin of your teeth. Now this was a closed, empty theater, and you were the one who has the keys, and your daughter was there. So what? I'm just saying, Tyra, it's looking very much like she not gonna have no daddy, and she gonna be in the people foster care, or she might be in the asylum too, right next to Lily. I don't like the setup for this. I don't like how well. And Pennywise sitting in a drain somewhere just laughing because he's like, yeah, 2-for-1 special. I don't like it, Tyra. But we shall see. Maybe they'll subvert our expectations with this. But this is still the 50s. This is still Derry. And I don't see him coming out unscathed, or her for that matter. I think there's going to be hell to pay the piper.
That was my issue. I feel like this Ronnie from across them tracks, they had to cross the tracks, going down to the trenches to get over there with Ronnie. And she knew enough to feel like they needed to go away. So I feel like she should have known better than to go in there. I don't care about her little Regina not having the whole developed brain and still being a child. I feel like she knew. This is a whip smart kid. Like, nah, she knew to grab that damn hammer. She knew to do that. She said, I'm getting the hell out of here. I'm leaving. But oh, I'm coming in here. What you coming in there to do what, Ronnie?
Not with that demon bat,
What's
baby.
going on in here? And you standing there with the blood drenched white girl. Girl, we not afforded them opportunities. I just want to see where this goes and what happens because of the era. And Pennywise loves to fester in your worst nightmare and fears. What is that going to be for the blacks? What are you going to
Girl,
continue to fester?
girl.
Don't be cute, show.
We all know can see where that would go. We all.
Don't be cute. Look at here, show. Do not be cute with the manifestations, and that's coming because this is a whole lot of black kids in Derry all of a sudden, and we know when we get into them other. We ain't see, just lucky that you see a black in Derry, and it's very like a get out of my town type scenario. It's a white centered space. Where did they all go? And I was just like I said, okay, we're gonna give Ronnie some time to cook and see, but I don't want handcuffs immediately. Episode 2 for Daddy Hank. Like, girl, where you gonna go? And you know how they play in these shows. She probably don't even have a mama.
If she do, we ain't seen her yet.
Have a nuclear family. Somebody gotta have, like, oh, let that be the reason you be over there bonding with old girl. Look here. Gotta protect Daddy Hank. That's all we got. That's all I'm saying. But let's continue on. We don't know her, Ronnie. Oh, but getting here into the main attraction in the episode. Not so much the ending, but these boys. You couldn't tell me this wasn't our losers. I was like, all right, we got our beat Beverly. Beverly Marsh is here. We got our Stan. We got our Richie. They're here. It was so matchy, and I was getting irritated. I was like, why are they like little carbon copies of kids that we've already met? Like, all right, Stan, you and your bar mitzvah. Like, it was just giving, Richie in the comic books with a little hint of Eddie. And you could just see kind of a little bit of Bill, a little bit of, everybody, all of the boys mostly in them. And we focused on them for so long, and they had that connection to Maddie. I was like, all right, we have that loss. It takes a loss to bring us, and we have our Georgie.
Mm-hmm.
A loss that brought us all together, and we have to avenge this situation. Nobody else is caring. They're not looking. Of course, parents aren't listening. Daddy bar mitzvah down there showing. I don't look at here. Let me tell you about a Holocaust. I was like, well, damn, Daddy, I just asked you a question. I just asked you a question, Dad. But once again, that it manifesting in these parents to where you could never try to be endearing and ask them for help. And oh, there's this thing. Yeah, they're probably gonna lock you up before they do anything. Phil and Ted were just really dynamic. I really liked them as kids and their delivery. I feel like they were witty, they were fun. I liked their banter. Phil was really Richie coded. I was like, oh, okay, this is our fun one. This is, our logical, sensible one who's more grounded, but he's still willing to try and listen, our Stan. And I was really surprised at how far we went in depth with these characters to where we ended up later, because these were our boys as far as I was concerned. Ashley?
Baby, I thought so too. Because I will, like I said, I commend all of the child actors. They did a great job in casting. It's not like they just pick people up off the street. You can tell these babies have had some training. I think they all delivered. And you were invested in who they were and you understood them. Teddy was really broken up still about Maddie because I didn't do enough. We didn't do enough. Were we really friends to him? And then you have Phil, who is, I guess, more pragmatic and is like, well, he's gone. He's not in the drain. But then, if he said it, I believe it because he doesn't make stuff up. And so you do have this reliance on one another and you could really see the friendship. I too thought these were going to be here. They thought so too. They said before they read the script that they too thought that they were going to be here, not be taken out the first episode. My only note really for this first scene in the manifestation, honey, if I have to hear about that damn bee of Buchenwald ever again, I don't want to. We got enough over there with Ed Gein. I do not want to hear about her ever again and her human damn lampshades. I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it. The fact that they had mustaches and we're talking like, oh my gosh, sir, please. Is that your greatest fear, Teddy? Is that it? Like, come on. That's probably my only note, but I love their synergy. I love the chemistry. All the kids did great. And even the evil bar mitzvah daddy, he's delivering how he's supposed to. And I really wonder if we'll ever see them again. Is there going to be a funeral for the boys? Are we going to see him fully enraged and turning into something else, at this black man? I'm very curious about how all this is going to play out.
I don't want the boys to be completely gone, even if they're manifesting to be used by Pennywise and they're a little evil and taunting, drawing them in like we had Maddie do. Because Pennywise is very Freddy Krueger in that way, like word of mouth. I'm going to use this victim to draw you in closer. But I'm like, I don't want them to be gone. They were so great. They were so great. I was ready to be sat with them. I was like, oh yes, this is our stand. Come on, Teddy. He's so mature and level-headed. Yeah, this is our plan. There's a little stand with a little hint of Bill. And then you got Phil. He had the little sister. I was like, oh, here we go. We got our core. Yeah, they said, no, have a seat. Have a seat and be set. We're going to see that poor black man. Hank was just trying to do his job down at the theater. Like, girl, not my own kid being my own undoing. But, baby. And just like that, dead. They dead. Yo, the way I cackled when they killed these kids.
Tyra, please.
I cackled so hard because this was so unexpected and I loved it. It was a good cackle because I was excited. I was like, oh my god, yes! At this point, I was set. I was like, okay, this is not going to be anything out the norm. We're going to get our typical it story. We're already starting. We have damn near half of our losers club, and this is our Beverly, and this is our all the boxes were checked, and it's like, okay, we just have an element of surprise because there's all these blacks and things in Derry, and we get to actually follow adults this time who are currently living in Derry and not the kids removed and grew up in the whole scenario. When this happened, I was like, hell yeah. Kill them kids. Then they killed the little one. They took out the little sister. In horror, that is just, that safe space is very, very Scarface. No women, no kids. Like, we can't get no kids, no babies, no old people. No, all of you can get it. And the way that we use Maddie to draw them in, and I feel like that was a reference back to It Chapter 1 with the whole movie screen and kind of popping out, and it's the giant baby, two-headed demon baby. And they just died. I was like, oh my God, baby, they dead. I just could. I'm sorry. That's so bad to say, but not even just them being dead. I feel like they debunked the whole, oh, this is our losers club and this is what they look like. They immediately started abandoning each other, running off this way, that way, not standing. It's very no man left behind with the losers club at its core. Here it was like, F this, I'm getting out of here, outside of little black baby because she went back. And what you going back for? We're trying to get out of here with our lives. But I don't know. I see a lot of people saying that we didn't really get to see exactly what happened to Teddy, and maybe Teddy's still alive.
Yeah,
maybe I think all these kids are gone. I feel like all these kids are gone, and this was such a dramatic way to end. Like, nobody's safe, and not just in a sense of kids, but expect the unexpected. Because even if you're traveling and following somebody, and this is our core, we can snatch it away from you immediately. Ashley?
Absolutely. This was crazy as hell. And Teddy gone. The way that pterodactyl baby spent him around and the blood spurted, I said, oh, Teddy's a goner. And he was the first one to go. And then I'm thinking, Phil, save your baby sister. Are you going to grab her and cover her, hold her? He was... well, damn. And that's your blood sister, Phil. Like, yeah, the Losers Club, they rode for one another down bad. Like, no, it was like you said, no child left behind. I'm running back to get you. There's never going to be a time, if I'm here, that you're going to be stuck alone. We're going to, even if they had to lay down their lives for each other, they were going to do that. Over here, this is totally different, and maybe that's why they couldn't survive, because they ain't had that dog in them, Tyra. But I was really sad about Teddy. Teddy was so empathetic and kind and mature, and it was like, damn it, Teddy. Like, I didn't care so much about Phil and Beep Richie, but my baby Teddy, that was sad. I honestly, the whole time until I saw the pterodactyl move and the blood spurt, I was like, they're gonna make it. Like, the door is gonna open, they're gonna get out of there. Demon baby's gonna go back into the picture. It's gonna be fine. Yeah, no. They said, what them kids? F them kids.
Snatched their little ass up. They was dead.
That was off. I was like, they just wanted to come in here and watch the Music Man, and Maddie gotta come in, and they gotta die at Maddie's hand. Maddie released the Kraken, and that's how they got taken out. It was sad.
I appreciated it. I loved it. Like, yeah, take that little girl. And then when she came out and she was holding the little girl's hand, I was like, oh God, this is horror. This is what we come to see. We need the unexpected. We have to break tradition. You gotta remember, like and when I don't even know about the books, that's probably like way 80s. But the first It came out in 90. We can't be formulaic here. These losers had to die. I was like, show you right, show you right, kill them kids. This was such a perfect way to open and be a window to this universe. I thought it was great. I never knew I needed it until it happened. I was like, yeah, we need them losers. Them wasn't our OG. Them wasn't, because the way they separated, because as soon as they separated, I was like, oh, hell, not them separating for each other, like from each other. You didn't even see. And then you had Looney Lily. She didn't even move. She just got down on the floor. And, that's us getting back into that turtle. Like, what are you surviving for? Maybe we had no problem with snatching all those other kids up. So maybe we'll get back to that. But like we said, we are opening this up to something tragic happening. Not only with Lily having to talk and justify, what she's seen. Like, how do we explain this? This is three children gone dead,
Gone.
And they're covered in blood. But we do know with whatever happens and who's going to get the blunt of the blow, it's not going to be Lily. Yeah, Hank, where were you when all these kids got into the theater with your keys? What? I was like, oh, I just really don't want to see that for Dad, because maybe I'm just trying to do my job. But actually, anything on this before we get into predictions?
No, child. I was just saying, this was a great way to end the episode. This definitely had all of the OG It fans like, I can't believe y'all just did this. Like, that's been the consensus across the socials everywhere. They're like, I can't believe they did that. What else are they going to do this season? And even in the after show, that's what the showrunner and the writer and all of them were saying. Like, yeah, so now anybody can get this work. If we can take them out, you just know anybody's on the carpet to go. And I like that element. I like the element of surprise. So I'm really excited for what that means for the rest of the series.
To have us on like kind of like the edge of our seats all season. Like, okay, is this the moment? Are you a snatch this person? Is Marge okay? Are you gonna take Lily? Is Lily really our Beverly? I don't know. I don't know. What does the turtle mean? Is the turtle really protection? It keeps you guessing with everything, and that's a good place to be in with a show. But getting into Ashley's favorite part. Who brought memberships? I didn't see anything. Let me see. I don't know why it's not. Let's see, received. Let's see, somebody received them. Rose's Bud brought a membership. Is that what I'm looking at here? Thank you. Thank you so much, Rose's Bud, for making some unsuspecting person a member of the Sweet Peas. Most definitely appreciate you. Let's see who else we got down here. Make sure I get this super chat from Rose's Bud yet again. Said to each their own. To each of their own. Like, I know I don't want to see nothing else with Ronnie going to save nobody. Girl, what you doing? What you doing? Thank you. But Ashley, do you have any predictions for episode 2?
I think there's going to be Area 51, and I think they will be experimenting on the blacks. I think we are going to meet his wife, Leroy's wife, and I'm really excited. I enjoy her as an actress, so I'm super excited to see her over here and what she's going to bring, and his children. I want to see what this is going to look like, this black nuclear family integrating Derry. Also, I want to see the effects on Lily. And on Ronnie. I want to see how they're going to intersect after this, what this looks like, because it doesn't look like they go to the same school at all. They're on different sides of the tracks and now kind of have this shared trauma. Really want to know what's going to happen to Daddy Hank. What's going to happen? And I don't want to see any pitchforks. I don't want to see any white hoods. I don't want to see any crosses. And I damn sure don't want to see no trees, Tyra. That's what I don't want to see. All right?
I'm concerned because if you watch those films, you already know that there is this massive fire in Derry around this time, and it's at the blackout. It's a place just predominantly for all of the blacks in Derry.
Oh, Lake Lanier, we're gonna have Black Wall Street. All right.
I don't know. And then there is a club. It's called the Legion of White Decency Club. It's giving Klan. So between the blackout juke jump place and the League of White Decency Club, I'm not safe. We're not okay. I feel like Grandpa Leroy is gonna piss me off. I feel like Grandpa Leroy is gonna piss me off because the moment he got beat with that pipe and he was like, "Yeah, you might as well kill me. I'm not saying anything." Yeah, I can't trust you. I can't trust you. You're supposed to go see about that wife, Taylor Page. Okay, and you're supposed to go see about this son. It's in his photo. I don't know, all this patriotic duty and living up to this expectation of, and of course, fighting for, like, putting the whole race on your back. I have to excel in this position because I worked so hard to get here. But don't let that blind you to prioritizing your family. I feel like when stuff gets to hitting the fan, which is probably going to be happening immediately, he's going to be trying to stay there, and this is our home, and that's he's going to be trying to rationalize everything. I feel like he's going to piss me off. Um, Now, hopefully we don't immediately go after Daddy Hank. Like, let him plead his case just a little bit. Roll that beautiful being footage. Roll the cameras. I don't know, because nobody's gonna listen to these children. That's nothing that you can explain away. I don't even know how we come from, two nuclear white families losing their children, and the only person who was there to open the door was the daughter. Like, I don't know. That's not looking good. I don't know. And then it's a Halloween episode. I'm like, does that mean we're gonna get a little extra yang yang? I'm here for that too. But don't piss me off, Leroy. Don't piss me off bringing your wife here and all this stuff. Like, I just want to see. I don't want him to be blinded by his position that he ignores rationale. And yeah, baby, that ain't what that is. Just look at everything we got here. But y'all, that was the
Don't be one of them, Leroy. Be better.
Don't be running in, Leroy. And I feel like he was, because Leroy, you was still there. And you look like a shell of your former self, hitting them sheep in the head. Sir?
Lord have mercy.
Ugh. But y'all, that was that. Let us know how you feel about the commentary down below. Let us know, the expectations as far as what you think the season has to hold. And how did you feel about them taking out those kids? I loved it personally. Ashley, anything you want to share?
Don't forget, you guys, right after this, I think I said it for like 8:30, we will be discussing the Talamasca, episodes 1 and 2. I think tomorrow we'll start Narcos, and we have our Married at First Sight review that we'll be doing. Just make sure you're subscribed, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a thing, and drop a comment, hit a like, hype us up, Thank you.
I heard what she said. We will be here every Monday discussing it. Be sure to tell a friend that we're talking about Welcome to Derry every single Monday. If we don't see you in a little few minutes for Talamasca, you guys have a good night, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye, y'all.
Good night.